Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Let's continue our discussion for Department 1 and 2 FIFO. Okay, so we have Department A. It's the same with the previous one. We have beginning inventory of 1,600, finish and transferred of 18,000, and then 1,000 with the total quantities accounted for of 19,000. This should be equal to the total quantities to be accounted for, and then we need to squeeze. We have 17,400 for the started and process. Okay, after that we're going to compute for the EUP, computation of the EUP or EUP, equivalent units of production. We have finish and transferred. This time we need to identify what are the units coming from the beginning work in process inventory and started and completed. Okay, and then we have ending work in process inventory. So let's have this, sorry, this one. Okay, so we have ending of 1,000, and then we have beginning of 1,600. Then therefore, sorry, if we have 18,000 minus 1,600, we have 16,400. Then we need to account for, yeah, materials, labor, and overhead. Labor and overhead. We have already computed this one. This is 100%, so 16,400, 16,400, and then 16,400. This one, we have even distribution, so we have 500, 500, and then 500. Okay. The problem with this one is we don't have the beginning work in process inventory percentage yet. So we should assign what if the beginning work in process inventory here is, let's say, 60% complete. Okay. So if it is 60% complete, yeah, so 60% complete, then if it is part of the finish and transferred, we have work for additional 40%. So all you need to do is multiply 1,600 times zero point 0.4 or 40%. So we get 640. Okay na? So this one is not yet given, so I'll be giving the percentage na lang, this part. So what if, this is our first what if, 60% complete. Okay, after that we compute for the total EUPs. We have 17,540. Okay, after which is the computation of the cost. So all we need to do is to copy. Let's copy this one. It's the same. Alright. And after that, we go for the computation of the unit cost. Okay. Of unit cost. Remember that under FIFO, we only need the current month or the current month or this month cost. So we have materials, labor, and overhead. Okay, sorry for that. So current costs are 74,425, 56,625, and then 35,200. Okay, and then divided by our EUP. So we have 17,540. So luckily everything is 17,540 because it's even distribution. Okay, and then so once again this is cost this month divided by our computed EUP so that we can compute for the unit cost. So we have 74 divided by 7540, we have 4.24. Okay, let's see for 4 decimal places. So there's a percentage. Okay, let's round it off. So it equals around for 4 decimal. basis. Okay? So that we have an exact figure later on. Okay, and get the total unit cost. We have 9.4783. After is the computation of costs accounted for. Ito na yung medyo malayo or marami. We have finished and transferred. We have to account for the cost of the beginning work in process inventory that is now finished. We have cost last month, and then we have cost this month. And for the cost this month, it has materials, labor, and overhead. So, mas madali na lang siya to compare or to compute. Why? Kasi even distribution. Okay, so we have cost last month here for 9,500, and then we have cost this month of 640 times 9 point, let's have this, 4783. Okay, so make it in a peso sign. So the total cost of the beginning work in process inventory is 15,566.11. And then we have the started and completed. How much? We have 16,400 times this one. Okay, so the total cost of the finished and transferred is 171,010 pesos and 23 centavos. After that is the computation of the ending work in process inventory. We have materials, labor, and overhead supposedly, but since it is even distribution, all we need to do is 500 multiplied by 9.4783. We have 4,000. Get the total. We have 175, 479, 749.38 or 0.62 difference is due to rounding off. This is total cost accounted for. So the difference is due to rounding off. Okay, so what do we need is the amount 171 and 10 pesos and 23 centavos. Okay, so let's start with Department B. Okay, so Department B, I think we can copy the start quantities except for the computation, of course, of the EUP. Okay, so we have this computation of the EUP. So we have finished goods. The finished goods has beginning work in process inventory and transferred and completed. And of course, our ending work in process inventory. Okay, our beginning work in process inventory has 200. Then we have 1,200. And then to complete, we have 17,000 minus, how much is again? We have 200. We have 200. So we have 16,800. Let's check. 18,200. Yes. And then we have to compute for the EUP of the transferred in materials, labor, and overhead. So let's say to compute all the 100%. Just copy this. That's 16,800. And then the ending work in process inventory is 60% complete. So all we need to do is to multiply 1,200 times 0.6, 720. Can we do that? No, we cannot. So we have 720, 720, and then 720. Okay, but of course, the transferred in should be 100%. Yes. Why? We need to account for the current. So the current transferred in is costing 171,010 is actually from 16,000. Was it 16,400? No. The total is 1,600. Yeah, we have 18,000 units. Right? So the 18,000 units now is, yeah, can be computed from the transfer in completed and then ending work in process inventory. You don't need to account for the beginning work in process inventory under FIFO. Okay, zero. We only need to account how much resources did the beginning work in process inventory um, incurred during the production. So additional information will be this one. Let's say this one is 40% complete so that we can compute as 200 times 0.6. Okay. Okay, so we have 120. Okay. Oh, sorry. Choosing this is 120. Take everything is 120. Then this one should be, yeah, all equals then voila. Those are our EUP. After the EUP, we can also copy the cost to be accounted for right here because, yeah, let's see, almost the same, except of course, yung finish and transfer. This one, cost this month is equal to 171.10 plus the total cost of, where is it again? Department B cost this month. Eto, 128, 128, 875. Yeah, so we have 306.35.23. So again, we have the beginning cost last month. How much is this again? 1,900 plus 4,250. And then we have 128,875 plus, that's correct, plus 171.10 times 3. Okay na siya. After that, we compute for the unit cost. What I love most about FIFO is we just considered, or we are just to consider the correct, right? The correct. So computation of unit cost. We have the transportation in. I think we should. No, it's not transportation. It's the transferred in cost. Yeah. Okay. Transferred in cost. The materials, labor, and then we have the overhead. Okay, so the transferred in cost is 171.10.23. The materials for the month is 60, 225, 51, 650, and 17,000. Okay, let's have it on the peso sign. And of course, divided by AUP. Okay, so the computed AUP are 18,000 and 17,640. Okay, and then there you have it, our unit cost. But of course, we're going to round it off, so I'm going to include the computation of rounding for 4 decimal places. And then, of course, get the total. So let's have peso sign. Told you it's rounded off to 4 decimal places. Okay. And after that is the cost accounted for. We have to compute for the finished goods. Yeah, I remember it's finished goods. No? Okay, for the finished goods, it has the portion of the beginning, work in process inventory, which has cost last month and the cost this month. But of course, we can compute it mas mabilis because it's even distribution, you know. So cost last month is, how much is that again? 6,150. And then for the cost this month, we have an equal EUP of 120. So we can have this 3, 7.3058. I think 7.3058. 7.3058. Let me check it again. Okay. Press a sign. Oops. And then the total is your cost of beginning work in process inventory. And then we have transferred and completed. Okay. How much? We have 16,800 times 16.8064. So the total cost now of the finished goods is 289,374. I hope it's quite near on our previous computation later. And then we have ending work in process inventory. Our ending inventory, work in process inventory has transferred each, of course. Okay. Is it even? No. So we have transferred in cost, materials, labor, and overhead. Okay. So this is new. We have 1,200 times 9.5006. We have 720 times 3.41. We have 720 times 2.9280 and 720 times 0.9637. Okay, get the total. Okay, we have 16,616. Let's see. We have 289 plus 16. Is it 306,035.11? Yeah, around 0.12 difference because of rounding off. So this is your total cost accounted for. There you have it, everyone. Our discussion for FIFO. Thank you.